Just found out my colleague is actually my supervisor.
I, 25F, started a week before B, 25M, and we helped open a brand new hotel. He barely did anything the entire time. The housekeepers and I were in the rooms on all fours, scrubbing into oblivion, making beds, inspecting rooms, etc., while he did tasks that didn't matter, like random vacuuming in the hall. I am the best desk agent in the building. They voted for me as the very first staff of the month because I cross-trained in every department so that we could effectively open the hotel. All the people I trained with, including him, still ask me for help on simple tasks like issuing a refund to a guest. When our front desk supervisor fell ill during this time and resigned, I asked for the position, and the GM said it was filled, but we have never had a supervisor, and I thought nothing of it. I recently found out he makes way more than me and is listed as front desk supervisor on paper and on his LinkedIn account. No one has said anything about this, not the GM, not the AGM. They have literally been keeping all of this a secret for a year. He even left for 3 months and came back, and he's still listed as the supervisor, even though I handle all the front desk's needs. I think this has everything to do with his gender and race and nothing to do with his capabilities. I said nothing or fight with them about it, I just went and found another job. I now have a job lined up with a downtown 5-star hotel, which I was hired almost immediately, and they're offering me way more than my job could even dream of. When I submitted my 2 weeks' notice, the GM immediately offered to match whatever they're paying because they need me. Which was another slap in the face. Because they had the means to pay me what I deserve, they just didn't.
Why do I only make a key for people whose names are in the room? Or, I can't believe I have to explain this. Warning, blood.
Setting, 2014, a place in Texas I won't specify. I come in to work my audit shift, and the AGM, who is pretty laid back, has this look on his face. The look that does not belong on the face of someone who is cheerful. It is a bad thing. Concerned, I ask him what's going on, and he quietly and politely informs me that one of our first-floor rooms is out of order. He also informs me that one of my coworkers, let's call him Bob for this story, is no longer my coworker. All names falsified, for reasons that will become obvious. Because of who I am, my curiosity gets the better of me and I ask him what happened. Well, Bob was working the PM shift, and a man came into the hotel and approached the front desk, asking for a key to the room where Mrs. Winkeldorfer was staying. Bob checks and she is indeed a guest with us, but his name isn't in the room. The man reassures him he's the woman's husband and presents an ID confirming this. So Bob makes him a key. Of course, Mr. Winkeldorfer can't remember what his room number is, so Bob just goes ahead and reminds him of his room number. What could go wrong, right? She was hiding from him. I got to find out why. Did I let on that I'm entirely too curious for my own good? So once the AGM took off to get good and drunk, I made a key to the room and just took a peek inside, just to see why the room was out of order. Broken lamp or something, I figured. No intention of actually entering, just curious to see how long it would take to fix things. We had a tendency to sell out, after all. Oh, me oh my. People. The room looked like Dracula and Rorschach got freaky in there. There was definitely breakage, and it was definitely worse than I expected, but that wasn't what struck me. There was blood. There was a lot of blood. Floor. Walls. Curtains. Bathroom. Bed. It was really terrible. Naturally, I did not go inside. I closed the door again and went to focus very hard on my work to distract myself from what I had just seen. It took months for us to sell that room again, and I still took great pains not to put anyone in there unless there was absolutely no alternative. I never found out what happened to that woman, but I'm very glad we were right next to a hospital. God help me, I'm not sure if it'd be more kind to her to survive or not. I can never unsee that. Reddit. I've watched corpses being wheeled out of rooms, I've seen people fist fighting in hallways, I've seen rooms smeared with shit, but this happened 7 years ago and I can still see it in my mind, and I really wish I didn't. Do not make keys for anyone who is not listed. Because 99 times out of 100, you're going to be fine. 99 times out of 100, everything is going to work out, and it's perfectly innocent and you'll never hear about it again. But that one time, you could destroy a human being. Be right back, going to think about literally anything else.
Well folks, someone finally did it. I never thought I'd live to see the day.
Somebody apologized to me. Around midnight, I get a request for more towels for a room on the second floor. I put the sign up that says I'm assisting a guest and will be back as soon as I'm able. I run down, grab the towels, go up the stairs, deliver the towels, where they request a blanket as well. So I go back downstairs to the laundry room, grab a blanket, go back upstairs and deliver that. When I get back to the desk pod, a man is pacing, the phone is ringing, and when I greet him, he hangs up, the phone stops ringing and he screams, cursing at me, being completely unreasonable that I am the only person on staff at night and that I was assisting another guest. He storms off without getting his keys, and soon enough comes back to scream some more because the mobile key isn't fucking working. Of course it isn't working, you're being an ass, so I'm disinclined to make your night any easier. I give him some physical keys and activate the mobile key, but not before I politely ask him to stop yelling and swearing at me. He demands my manager's card. Fine, but the GM's just going to ask why he was swearing at his employee, but fine, not my monkey, not my circus anymore. About half an hour later, I see him return to the front desk. I sigh in anticipation of more needless yelling when the strangest thing comes out of his mouth. I really need to apologize to you. That was unfair and immature of me to yell at you like that. You didn't deserve it. I'm sorry. Hold up. You mean to tell me that all the other assholes I've dealt with over the years can apologize for their behavior? It's a brave new world, folks. I've officially seen it all.
$132.21 total for a 4-night stay. Yeah, right.
Our hotel is within 10 miles of a Ford assembly plant, and we get a lot of guests staying with us that are affiliated with Ford, either as a direct employee or a subcontractor coming in to do work at the plant. The Ford rate is $117 plus tax, which is a substantial savings off of our rack rate. So anyway, I had a guy check on Friday night that had a reservation for 4 nights with the Ford rate. We progress through the check-in process, and when we get to where he needs to insert his card into the card reader, yes, we require guests at check-in to insert their card into the card reader. GM says it's helping cut down on fraud. He freaks out over the amount of his stay, plus incidental hold, showing on the screen. He wants to know why it's so much, when he was told the rate was $117 plus tax for his stay. I told him the total showing was for $117 plus tax per night, plus the incidental hold. He screams at me, saying he was told when he made the reservation that the total would be just $132 for my entire stay. I told him he must have misunderstood the reservation agent, because do you really think you'd get a room here for 4 nights for just $132 bucks? He says yes and says that if he knew he was going to have to pay over $500, he would have made a reservation somewhere else. I was tired of him yelling at me, so I told him that if he would prefer to stay somewhere else, I could cancel the check-in process and cancel his reservation, or he could have his card allowed for the full amount and be on his way to his room. He threatened to call the corporation and have me fired. I told him to have at it as I wasn't in the wrong. After steaming and stewing for a few more minutes, he finally decides he wants to stay, and we finish the check-in process. As he walks away from the front desk, he says that he will speak with my manager in the morning. I told him that the GM won't be in until Monday morning. This was Friday night approx 11:15 p.m., but our AGM would be at 9 o'clock a.m. Saturday morning. He says he'll wait to talk to the big boss on Monday. As an added bonus, he calls down about 30 minutes later, saying that when he made his reservation, he requested a smoking room, but didn't see an ashtray in his room. I tell him that all of our rooms are non-smoking, and if he wanted to smoke, he would need to go outside to do so. I got treated to yet another verbal assault, so I just hung up on him. Thankfully, I had no more interactions with him for the rest of the night, and hopefully I won't for the rest of his stay. Remind me again why I do this job. LOL.
I scammed my coworker out of over $1,000.
My coworker, who is notorious for adding a little something to her beverages while on the job, was covering the night audit shift. When I arrived for my 7 a.m. shift, she had been on hold for almost 2 hours. She told me not to hang up because she was on the phone with whom she thought was the owner of the hotel. They exchange funny banter whenever he visits, so she says when she got a call from him at 5 a.m. asking for a favor, she hopped right on it. I tasked her with sending over $1,000 through Western Union for a fire department inspection on a Sunday, and they needed payment before they came to the hotel. It also offered her a bonus, so she sent the money immediately, hoping to get it back, and then some. When the GM and I arrived, she requested the reimbursement before she clocked out. When she explained the situation to him, he's also extremely confused and informed her we do not pay for inspections, and she's most likely being scammed. She panics immediately, calls her bank, and stays in the back office for over an hour. I literally cannot believe that she did this. I couldn't even feel bad. Why would you come out of pocket for something work-related? She should have called the GM immediately or took a message. I'm pretty positive I wasted her because I could smell the alcohol seeping through her pores. At 7 a.m.
Guests we assumed to be nefarious in some way turned out to be something completely different.
We've had these semi-regular guests who've been with us for 7 or 8 times within the last year that had staff wondering and guessing what they do. They're a large group of Romanians who rent 3 rooms every time and pay with singles and some 5s, but nothing higher. Sometimes they rent for multiple nights and sometimes just for a night. Tonight they rented for 1 night and again paid in singles. Once they rented 3 rooms for 3 nights and paid in singles, and that was a pain to deal with. They are not American born but have US IDs from Illinois. I don't think the kids are US born because the ones I've dealt with have heavy accents. It's a group of 2 men, 3 females, and a vanload of kids. It's always the one man checking in and he is pretty direct, borderline rude. The first time I checked them in, it kind of threw me off. But I realized he wasn't Karen and wasn't being rude, and that's just his personality. I sort of appreciate the directness because he works with me if there's an issue. I got a mobster vibe from them or drug dealers. Some staff felt they were sex/human traffickers or were in prostitution. I thought they could be in prostitution or maybe some illicit stripping or something like that, considering all the singles. When the 2 guys came in, if there was a problem, the head guy would explain the situation to me, then say, "What do you do for me?" Complete with hand gestures. I'd make a suggestion, then they'd speak to each other in Romanian seemingly aggressively with even more hand gestures until they reach a consensus. Then we'd go back and forth in this manner until we reach a resolution. I figured if they are mobsters, they understand the value of not bringing unwanted, unnecessary attention upon their enterprise. But in considering all the possibilities concerning their activities, I always had a question mark about the kids. If they are engaging in illegal activities, why have a boatload of kids with them, which would seem to unnecessarily complicate their efforts? The kids never seemed in distress and were always happy, bouncy, etc. They seemed troop-like, which is exactly what they are. My boss came in after I checked them in and I told her they were back, and she said the Russians with the kids. I said yes because I knew what she meant, and she told me she saw them earlier that day in front of a strip mall and the kids were singing and playing the violins and other instruments. She watched them for a bit and she said people after people were dropping cash into their cash pot or whatever. None of us even considered that. Lol. Maybe we're jaded and assumed the worst. Judging from the amount of cash they produce, They must be pretty good, and I'm seriously wondering if they do this full time. Who knows, but I never even thought they are a traveling troupe of performers.
You just want to kick us out because we're black.
I haven't even seen you. A little backstory for context first. Before the pandemic began, we had security at our hotel on Friday and Saturday nights, and while we rarely needed it, it was nice to have it if something occurred. When the pandemic hit and business slowed down to next to nothing and cuts needed to be made, security was one of the first things to go. We were told that when things picked up again, we would have security on the weekends again. Well, despite business almost returning to normal, it never happened. Now, if there's a problem, the FDAs have to handle it, even at night. But management does not want us to go to the room door and knock, never know what kind of crazy may be on the other side, where to handle everything over the phone. This plays an important part in the story. So, now onto the details. The cast of characters: night auditor NA equals me. Pissed off guest equals Pog. Loud guest equals Log. Time: Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. The phone rings from an in-house call. NA: good evening, FD, this is Op. How may I help you?
Pog, could you please do something about the asshat family across the hall? It's fucking 10:30 and some of us are trying to sleep.
NA: sure. I see you're in room 4XX. I'll come up and see what room is loud and call them.
Pog, thank you.
I go up to the 4th floor and find out that the loud room is right across the hall, just as Pog had said. I took my cordless phone with me so I could call them from a few doors down the hallway from their room. NA: hi, this is Op from the front desk. I've got a complaint about the loud music coming from your room. Since quiet hours began at 10 p.m, I have to ask you to please turn your music down. Now I should mention that when their phones started ringing, the music stopped.
Log, we're not playing any music. Do you hear any loud music in the background?
NA: no, not now, but I'm out in the hallway and right before you answered your phone, you shut the music off.
Log, no, you're mistaken. We're not playing any music.
NA: well, I know what I heard, and once again, I need you to keep the volume down so as not to bother other guests.
Log, yeah, whatever.
I stand out in the hallway for a few minutes to see if I turn the music back on but hear nothing, so I return to the front desk. About 3 hours passed when I got another call from Pog. NA: front desk, how may I help you?
Pog, this is room 4XX. It was quiet for a while, but they're at it again, louder than last time.
NA: okay, I'll be right up. I get off the elevator and can hear the music clear down the hall. As loud as it was, it surprised me no one else complained. I call the room, once again from my cordless, and just like last time, the music shuts off when the phone rings. NA: hi, this is Op from the FD again. I've got another complaint about your music and I need you to turn it down, please.
Log, man, why are you bothering us? We ain't got no loud music playing.
NA: once again, I'm out in the hallway and I heard it as soon as I got off the elevator.
Log, ain't us man. Quit bothering us.
NA: well, just to let you know, if I receive any more complaints, you will be asked to leave the hotel.
Log, and if we don't want to go?
NA: then the police will be called to escort you out.
Log, man, you just want to kick us out because we are black.
NA: no, it's because you're disturbing other guests. Besides, I haven't even seen you, so I don't know what color you are.
Log, you're judging us by our music.
NA: I thought you said you weren't playing any music. Click. Got no more complaints, and the couple of times I walked past the room later in the night morning, there wasn't a peep to be heard. They knew they had given themselves away with their judging us by our music comment. Found out when I went into work last night that the room had been trashed and they had been charged a $500.
Guests complain about me, to me.
This happened a couple of days ago and I'm still laughing. I was covering the front desk, while the front desk person finished delivering lunch stuff and a lady comes in. The check-in goes fine, and as I'm handing her the keycard she sees the front desk person bringing back the trolley with a couple of dirty dishes, etc. On one plate was a cinnamon bun. The guest points to the bun.
Guest, can I have that bun?
I'm alarmed that she's about to take a bun off an obviously dirty plate. Me: Mom, that's a dirty plate.
Gee, yeah, but they didn't touch the bun. It's fine.
Me: I can't let you, unfortunately.
Gee, can I have a fresh one then?
That comes with the breakfast package and you'll get a fresh one tomorrow. They're great.
Gee, isn't there another one I can have?
We bring them in fresh each morning, one per guest, so we don't have any more. I'm afraid. But the cafe that bakes them is about 20 steps from here, and sometimes they'll have stuff still available, but they're often sold out because they're so good.
Gee, you're going to eat that bun as soon as I leave, aren't you?
I assure you, madam, I'm not. The guest leaves angry. I won't let her eat a garbage cinnamon bun. Fast forward a couple of days at checkout time. I get a call from front desk as a customer wants to escalate a complaint about an employee. So I head to the front desk and there is a cinnamon bun lady, CBL. Hi, I can speak with you over here. And direct her to speak with me in the waiting area. I'm very sorry you've had an unpleasant experience. Can you tell me more about it so I can make things right?
CBL, when I checked in, your employee wouldn't let me have one of those free cinnamon buns and was rude about it.
I blinked twice and then I realized she had forgotten it was me. Still not quite believing she doesn't recognize me. Can you tell me what they look like?
CBL, grey hair, yes, glasses, nope, tall, complete opposite, and wasn't even in uniform.
Alright, I have their description. Did that person give you a working key card?
CBL, yeah. CBL, well, do you know who that is?
Still not believing this woman was being serious. Yes.
CBL, can you make sure she's not allowed to be rude anymore? People won't come back when you have staff like that. I'm going to leave a review and forward it to your boss.
I still can't quite believe she didn't know it was me, but regardless, I can't imagine getting this angry over me not letting you eat food off a stranger's plate. Like, how are you not dead? She 100% emailed my boss her review, and it's one of those reviews when you read it, it becomes immediately clear she's just extremely angry I told her no. TLDR, I didn't let a lady eat a cinnamon bun off a stranger's plate destined for the garbage and she got really mad about being told no.
You, Annan.